Hello! So what I'm going to have you do now is create a custom shelf so that you have the tools that you are going to use the most at an easy location where you can find them quickly, just like I have here. See, my shelf is called Second Life, and I have all the tools that I use the most laid out here. I do use some other tools, but because I don't use them all the time, I don't have any problem coming up here to the drop down menus and just using them from there. So what we're going to do to create a shelf for yourself is we're going to go to the left hand side here, and there's a little gear. Left click on that gear and then click on new shelf. You're going to enter a shelf name. Just title it Second Life, or really anything you want to do. If you want to just title it Custom Shelf, whatever you want to title it, whatever works for you. I'm going to name mine Second Life 2 because I already have a Second Life shelf, so just so we're not confused. And there we go. We have a new shelf. There's nothing here. It's completely empty. So what we will do to add things to our shelf, let's start with our polygons. So at the top, on the left side-ish, go to the Create menu and click on that and drag your way down to Polygon Primitives. And what we want to do is hold down Control and Shift. Hold those down, don't let go. And we're just going to click where it says Sphere. And if you see on the left here, a little sphere popped up because it's adding it to the shelf. So click on Sphere, click on Cube, Cylinder, Cone, Torus, Plane, and Disc. So all of these should be on your shelf. So I'll click on all of them from Sphere down to Disc, and you can go ahead and click out of that, and now you see on my shelf I have all 7 of those objects, those little icons, readily available to me from my shelf. So I won't have to use this menu every time I want to create one of these objects. So let's go to another menu and add a few more things. What we're going to want next is our lights for when you are lighting and texturing. So again, go to Create and go down to the Lights menu. Hold down Control and Shift, and we're going to add all of these lights to your shelf. So Control and Shift, hold it down, click Ambient Light, Directional Light, Point Light, Spotlight, Area Light, and Volume Light. There we go. And now we have all of our polygons and we have all of our lights. Alright, so next up, let's go to where the menu says Select. Nope, I might have been wrong. I don't think I need that one. Let's go to Modify. So let's hit Control Shift under the Modify menu, and we're going to click on Center Pivot. That's going to be a useful little tool for you that you will probably use fairly often. I know I do. Alright, so let's go over to Mesh. And let's see, which one of these do we need? Okay, so under Mesh, we're going to do Control and Shift, hold it down, and we're going to click on Combine and Separate. Okay, and then we'll go to the Edit Mesh menu, Control Shift, hold it down. We want Bevel, Bridge, Extrude, Merge, and then all the way down here, we're going to add Extract. Now, in these Mesh and Edit Mesh menus, you are going to probably use most of these other things as well at some point, but not often enough that I personally feel is worth adding to the shelf. If in the future you decide you are using these items enough and you want easier access, by all means, add it to your shelf. There are also, as you see, it says Control B, Control E when you want to bevel or extrude. I'm not big on hotkeys personally, but if you're the kind of person who works better by hitting, if you can remember Control E, if you can remember Control B, if you can remember all those little tricks, by all means use it. It's still useful to have it on your shelf anyway, just in case, especially while you're learning, so that you have options and you can figure out what works best for you. Alright, so let's go to Mesh Tools. We're going to do Control Shift again, hold it down, and take that down to Insert Edge Loop. And that is the only one I'm going to take from this menu. And then let's see. We also want to go to Mesh Display, hold down Control Shift, and we're going to take Harden Edge and Soften Edge. And then we're going to skip curves only because I don't personally use curves, and that's not something, well, I do use them, just not often enough for me to put them on my menu, and it's not something I'm going to be teaching you in these early stages of lessons. So we're going to skip the curves menu, we're going to skip surfaces as well, we're going to skip deform for now. Let's go to UV, Control Shift, hold it down. You want your UV editor, and you want down here where it says camera base, go ahead and click on that while you have Control Shift. And that will do it for that there. The only other thing I want to do is under, find it. All right, under Edit, go down to Delete by Type, Control Shift, and we're going to select History. And that is the last one I'm going to add to the shelf at this time. So you should have all of these items now, all these little icons on your Second Life shelf, or whatever you named your shelf. You've got your polygons. These are the things that we create with. You've got your lights. This is going to be for adding depth and lighting and texture to your objects. Center pivot, combine, separate, bevel, bridge, extrude, merge, extract. This is insert edge loop, but when you hover over it, it'll say split selected edge ring. And these ones are harden and soften edges. And we've got your UV tools. This is for your UV window. This is to do some UVing directly. And then history is going to clear your history once you're done with creating an object. All of these things will obviously be explained in depth further. Just make sure that you do have all of these items on your shelf ready to go before we start our lesson. At this point, you should also already have your view cube here in the window because you've gone to the legacy default viewport and you've already done what you need to do to have access to that menu. If you do not have your view cube, please make sure you follow the other tutorial that I pasted in the note card before you come to the lesson. That way we are all set and ready to go, and we won't have to go through any of this in the time we have allotted to actually teach you things. If you have any questions, please contact me anytime. If you're having any trouble, let me know. I'm happy to help. And I will see you guys soon.